Hello everyone, today's lesson is going to be German test-taking strategies. I received a question from an Antharok Gaming, and he's going to be taking a German test soon, and he wants to have some help in German test-taking strategies. Now in this video, I'm not going to be actually explaining any grammatic at all. I'm just going to be telling you what you should watch out for each part of speech. When you see that for writing, or for reading, or when you have to fill in the blanks, or you have to correct something, these are the parts of grammar that you need to watch out for because they're favorites for tests when they want to trick you. And I'm going to try to give you a couple tips and tricks for when you can't remember the articles and etc. And I will give one or two specific sentences, but that's not really what I like to do. You can take tests online to test your German and then get the answers, and then you get wonderful example sentences from that. I don't produce example sentences, but we're going to try to give you a couple more text-taking techniques. So, I would say for each specific point of grammar, there are a couple points that you need to watch out for. So nouns, obviously, are capitalized in German. You need to watch out for that. Don't forget to watch out for the plural endings. And don't forget about the end declination. So for the masculine, strong nouns. So look that up if you don't know what that is. And it just means that when they're an accusative and dative, they actually get a different ending. With your verbs, don't forget about conjugation. Don't forget about what time you're in. Are you in present tense? Are you in past tense? If you're writing something, then it's probably going to be simple past. If you're speaking, it's perfect, because sometimes you have an oral proofing as well. And don't forget about the verb placement. Is it the first place, the second place, second to last place, or the last place? I do go over all of that in my previous videos. The questioner actually said he was able to bring notes to his test, which is something crazy I've never heard of before. But wonderful if you have an open note test, and I actually don't think you really need me much, but adjectives is something I would suggest bringing an adjective ending chart. Because you know that is different for der, die, and das, and it does depend on whether it's plural as well, and if it's nominative, accusative, genitive, or dative, and then whether it's an indefinite article, a definite article, or has no article. So there's actually 3 different charts. I actually memorized them, and my German teacher told me at the beginning of the test, the first thing you do is just write down the chart in the corner of the test. You write down the chart and you just bring it to the test, and then you've got the adjectives aced. That's no problem. Prepositions. So for dative, we have aus außer bei mit, Nachtzeit, von zu, and sing that the song of Blue Danube. Aus außer bei mit, Nachtzeit, von zu, aus außer bei mit, Nachtzeit, von zu, etc., etc. So. Punctuation, that's the last point. I really can't help you too much on that. I can just tell you, don't forget when you're doing a list, 1, 2, no comma, und the third item. Not like English where you put a comma after the second item as well. And don't forget with the quotation marks, we got a little one at the bottom and a big one at the top. I've noticed a lot in typed German on the internet that no one's even paying attention to that rule anymore. Maybe your teacher doesn't even care about that anymore, but I guess that was at one time a rule in German. So now I'm going to give you my tips and tricks. They're not really great, but they might help you in a pinch. So if you don't know the article of the noun, well, you have a couple options. You could choose another noun. You can merely describe the noun in a colorful way if you know the adjectives for it, and then stick them all together with the proper endings, but that's a little bit hard unless you're a native German and you really want to construct a new word. Sorry, my nose is itching a little bit. But you can always make it a diminutive. You can always make it a chen. So, Flasche. You can't remember if it's die Flasche, der Flasche, is die Flasche, but okay, das Fläschchen. So remember, chen at the end, and if you can put an umlaut on it, then stick an umlaut on it. It's that easy. Or you can just stick a line on it, and if you can umlaut a vowel, then umlaut the first vowel. Very easy. And then it's always das, 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 das. If you get your adjective ending chart, then you'll never go wrong with the diminutive. It might sound stupid, but it'll be grammatically correct. Also, too, the tactic of using multiple, short, simple sentences instead of trying to use one complete grammatical nightmare. You're not a native speaker. Don't try to sound like Voltaire or Socrates or something. Write 3 really small, concise, grammatically correct sentences, and guess what? You'll have written 3 correct sentences, and you don't get the full points for it. It may take a little longer to read, might not be so eloquent, but you're not a poet. You're taking a freaking German test. Okay, another point. Learn your strong verbs. If you know all the strong verbs, then you can assume all the other ones are weak verbs, and then you learn one way to conjugate them, and then that way is always the same. And if you only learn 3 strong verbs, you have to learn sein, haben, and werden. Learn them. Write them on your hand. Tattoo them on your forehead. Write them in toothpaste on your bathroom mirror backwards. I don't know. Learn them. And lastly, it's better to write something than nothing at all. I mean, even if it's ridiculous. Okay, maybe not totally ridiculous, but try to make something that sounds halfway plausible. You can't remember the one word, try another one. If you can't remember wine, say milk. If you can't remember beer, say coffee. It doesn't really matter in the end of the day what you personally think. Even if they ask for your personal opinion, screw it. Write the words and the nouns and the verbs that you know, not really what affects you personally. That's just a test question. I will go over a few specific sentences because he did ask for them, but I'm going to go over some of the more difficult ones and the very common themes. I've noticed the 2 biggest themes in tests are always your free time and the restaurant. So these are the little hooks that always come up in tests. Zum Beispiel, Park. Das ist der Wort. And wir gehen in den Park. Because it's accusative and masculine. But ich bin im Park. Im being the Verkürzung from in den. Because it's dative. Or gehst du ins Kino? Nein, ich bin im Kino. Again, this is now a das Wort, but it's accusative and then dative. And these 2 are very oft gefragt beim Test. Habe ich gemerkt. Und what's also easy is you can always say, ich spiele gern Tennis. Ich spiele gern Fußball. Ich spiele gern Hockey. Am Wochenende gehe ich ins Kino. Very easy. So in the restaurant scenario, first of all, just know your food. That's going to make it so much easier. And I'm going to go through maybe 5 main sentences that you're going to find in the restaurant scenario. So, dürfen wir die Speisekarte haben, bitte? Can we have the menu, please? Wollen Sie bestellen? Would you like to order? Was empfehlen Sie als Hauptspeise? What do you recommend as the main dish? Ich hätte gern... ... Nomen in accusative. That could be anything. Okay, I would like to have this and this and this. And then 5, stimmt so. It's a little bit harder, but when the waiter comes to you and says, oh, das macht €5.25, you give him €6. So he says it's €5.25, you give him €6. And then you want to give him a little bit of a tip, a little Trinkgeld. Dann sagen Sie, stimmt so. He keeps the €6 and takes the 75 cents as the Trinkgeld. The tip. So, I really hope that helps you on your test taking, and as I said, I'm really sorry I couldn't give more specific sentences, but I'm really not that good at producing these specific sentences. And I'm hoping these test taking skills help you. Please look at my other videos, I'm pretty sure you already have. And if not, there are some wonderful web sites out there. About.com has wonderful mock German tests that you can take. And there are also a lot of online DAF tests as well. They're going to give you a really good feel for a hardcore German test. So everyone take care, and until next time, auf Wiedersehen.